Yo, 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 yo. Welcome in. Huh? 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 There's that old excuse me, Twitch ad. We'll wait till that gets out of the way. Yeah. Hello. I'm old Pappy von Wieseltits. I'm old Pappy von Wieselschnitz. Yeah, welcome on in. That's new. That's a cool little starting screen too. Everywhere we just put the camera, it looks lovely. Top notch. Top draw. There we go, that still works. That still works.
Every long
I just wanted to play this song for you.
brought me to where you are. You were my creamy star. I couldn't believe
As we look out.
that creaming me on my way. Creamy right where we are. Sweet granny knows it's true.
That's right.
'Cause God bless the creamy road that led me straight to you.
They're fighting now. Whoa.
God bless the creamy road that led me straight to you. Sweet Granny knows it's true, 'cause God bless the creamy road that led me straight to you.
Time is an illusion. Time is an illusion. I like that song. And this one.
TC Falcon's cantina can't resist, 'cause she's free falling into John Quan. In a galaxy of flavor, the night's gone, sipping on the stars, buck wild under the moon so bright. In the cosmic haze, buck wild delight. In the cosmic haze, a buck wild delight.
Too slow.
He's a good man.
Let me try this.
Down in the old holler booty cobbler.
Oh, now it's too fast. No.
If he winks twice, you'll know. Through fire and snow, he'll climb to the top of that mountain, brother.
He will. It's too slow. In the Jean Paul, in a galaxy of flavor, the night's gone. Sitting on the stars, but wild under the moon so bright. In the cosmic haze, buck wild delight. Buck wild, it's way too fast like that.
Buck wild delight.
Maybe if we do this. I'm still learning the camera system. This new camera system. We got the Funkatronium bean water in hand. We got the tunes pumping. We're gonna listen to some, if not all, of the tales from the Funklands. Betrayal at Brangus Keep. And we've got some freaking Daily Braille photos to go over. Maybe we bust open Unity. What's going on over here with this? This slideshow is not good. Oh, it can only be. Nerdy malerdy. The Huno Kuno. So spooky out here. Yeah, still a little too slow. So I guess the speed setting. The speed setting. The speed setting. I don't even know what I did with the fly. I need a new nighttime sound. I want to hear fly all damn game. McFly! Oh yeah, let me test that. What? Yeah, it still works. That still works. Good, good. This still works. No, no, no! We're here at the foot of the Melody Mountains. In a new part of the game. A new part of... There it is. So it's in KPP World 3. B. Raven is here. Just in time.
Well, it's the Daily Braille, the Daily Braille, the newspaper that knows you all too well. Page after page, delivered right to your door. It's the Daily Braille, now let us show you some more. Well, it's the Daily Braille, the Daily Braille, the newspaper that knows you all too well. Page after page, delivered right to your door. It's the Daily Braille, now let us show you some more.
Yes, we're here at the Daily Braille. We're here. Okay. Phones ringing off the hook. The mink dinks dinking. Where's the no, not that. What? Phone. Dramatic music.
A particular set of skill.
Freaking
Hello there,
that guy.
Hello there, VRChat people. You might think this is a video, but what you are watching in your VR world is live. This is a visually interactive, VRChat interactive stream. Come on over to Twitch for more information. Search for TC_POOLE.
I hope you enjoy the show.
What? We'll find it eventually. The camera dolly is dope as fuck. Yes. And this just in. The Yawning Bandit. Don't call me Big Yawn. Yawning so hard, he's delaying 3 sunrises, causing the Great Nap Spiral of Dinkwood, inducing mass yawns from elders of Vresa. Reward? 1 year of uninterrupted rest and commemorative whisper jar. This has been the Daily Braille. Now back. Now back out into the great yawn. Sword raised against a... Whoa, sword raised against a what? Oh yeah, the Daily Braille's still going buck wild. So unorganized over here. That was the Daily Braille. The old cream smuggling route. Okay, we've got the Daydream. The forest now explorable down here. In the that dang old fly. You know, we got the Daily Braille Explorables. We've got the, you know.
Every long lost dream brought me to where you are. You were my creamy star. I couldn't believe that creaming me on my way.
Saying the overload.
Creamy right where we are. Sweet granny knows it's true. 'Cause God bless the creamy road that led me straight to you.
You know. You know, we got nothing. You got the unveiling of the thing. That old cream road.
Every long lost cream brought me to where you are. You were my creamy star. I couldn't believe that creaming me on my way. Creamy right where we are. Sweet granny knows it's true. 'Cause God bless the creamy road that led me straight to you. Sweet granny knows it's true. 'Cause God bless the creamy road that led me straight to you.
And that fucking, okay, whatever. Yes, the creamy road. God bless the creamy road. We got it. We get it. We get it. What's this? Loreno. God bless the creamy road. You're right. I couldn't have said it better myself. So some updates. We've got the Falconeers secret, not so secret hideout. Nuck if you buck and enter. White nuck if you buck. White nuck if you buck. We got a crow. We got colliders that I accidentally deleted. No big deal. Some more updates. Now we've got a cool owl. Tokyo drifting through the sky. You can now explore down here. Down into the forest. Day or night. Much to explore. And more to come. This little stone is going to be used for something. But right now, it's useless. This is the Drunken Dragon. Believe it or not, Raven. A new updated spot where you start out in this quaint little treehouse. What's that?
And the heart will sing sweeter for your folly. With a cry, Broby hewed the first night. Axe met, sap steel, showering sparks of green fire. BB shot upward, tracing circles of pure light that seared the air. Lemmy braced the cask upon his hip, splashing its brew against taloned gauntlets.
Oh yeah, the lore update. The betrayal at Bringus Keep from the I'm just calling it a little book series, Tales from the Funklands. Yeah. Now I get to drag my mug up there. Right? Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I should add some sort of way for you all to teleport your mugs in here. Ooh, maybe I could hang them from the wall, from the ceiling. See? You see? And then we write it down. Because... Hold on. Jesus Christ.
The dome of mist guttered, dwindling. Silence fell. The canker knights withdrew into the gloom as if satisfied. The harp's voice sank to a low murmur, almost tender, crooning some lullaby of ruin.
If I don't write this down.
Phoebe's light flickered weakly. The cask is broken, she whispered. Its stories bleed away.
Okay.
Brogan clasped Lemmy's shoulder.
Cool.
We live yet, and there are more tales in
Good
our
idea.
lungs than in any
If I don't write stuff down, I'm doomed.
This place before it drinks our final breath.
Okay, let's see some more stuff added in this little stove here, right? We got a little...
They found corridors empty.
Listen to the crackling fire adding into the soundscape. Let me shut me up over here. This radio's new. You can click on the radio. Look, I made some little music note. Oh wait, you can't see it because I'm too zoomed in. Forgot I gotta play over here. Now we're listening to KPP 101, The Quiet Storm. All these songs on this radio station are about the places, peoples, and things of Funkatron. Another character you get to meet is the DJ, or the radio guy. Chuck Buckley. Anyway, you can click that again to turn it off. I'm gonna leave it on for now. We got some daily Braille pages. Oh yeah. Some daily Braille pages here. Let's see what we got here. Lost and found. Lost notices one enchanted sock, the left one, still humming in a low C. One of the Goob Gob Boom and Zoom manuals, page 42, went missing. Last seen near Clydoshi. The Thunderbrook clan mug with engraved beard prints has gone missing. If you see it, report it to one of the defenders of Brel. Worm Taxi. You see, this song is about Tony Ma, who's got his own Attack TC card. Beard prints are wild. That's your sock, Raven. You already threw the right one away? Well, now we have to find both. Beard prints are wild. Yeah, sometimes the art on the casks are made like with the beard. They're just like shove their beards into the found notices. Set of 3 unidentified keys that smell like beans. Someone also found a glow shroom lantern, still glowing. And also found a tiny toad-sized fiddle. Watch out. Someone needs to come claim see Granny Barrelswick at Brel Substation 3. Bring description of item. Reward in bean pies is optional. So, you got that. The erosion from the amount of times he's lifted it to his lips. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Oh, I love it. Add some more of my clothes in here, you know, if y'all need to borrow any. Just hanging up here, a little snack, some Poolong. Here's a little a little pro tip. The control for that TV is hidden back here, behind the fridge. They're just kind of unsightly when it comes to the continuity of the aesthetic. Added this in here, just some more decor. Wanna sprucing it up a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Let's turn it back daytime. Yeah. Oh yeah, the pond's new maybe. I don't know. I don't know who's seen what, who hasn't seen what. Wait. Let's go out here though, because I haven't even been out here. I mean, I know I made the whole thing, but I haven't even been out here. Let's listen to a little of the tales of the Funklands as we go adventuring out yon, thinking of more ideas to add to this crazy plot show.
Tales from the Funklands.
Oh, you're too loud.
Act 1. The Crumbling Keep. Far in the southern reaches of the Funklands, there rises a lonely fastness of stone and sorrow, its towers clawing at the sky like the fingers of a sleeper caught in nightmare. Men call it Brangus Castle after the lord who keeps watch within, yet older names whisper still along the wind that skirts its ramparts. On certain nights, when the moon Vreza looms crimson over the plains, the walls seem to bleed, and travelers hasten past with bowed heads, eager to leave both keep and memory behind. Upon one such night, a hush deeper than sleep wrapped every court and corridor. Torches guttered in their brackets, and each flame shivered as though fearing its own light. Along the western walk there once grew a hedge of white roses, but sickness had entered their veins. Now the blossoms blackened where they clung, petals curling inward until they cracked and drifted down like flakes of soot. In the courtyard beyond, a fountain of pale marble stood empty, save for drifts of gray dust that hid the light.
Yeah, the glow hammer. We're calling it the honey hammer. As you can see, this ember, this nice honey shade of gold. I don't know who made the hammer yet, though. But we gotta go turn the nighttime back on. Because... Oh, I gotta fix that. Because we're listening to this.
Thickness of a mermaid carved upon its bowl.
Oh, we gotta go to the
Even
light.
the water had fled these halls, finding kinder soil beyond the castle gates. Within the Hall of Echoes, Lord Brangus sat upon a throne of jet and bone, cloaked in iron-colored mail. His helm rested at his feet.
It's very odd hearing me as myself.
For a warrior feels the weight of years more keenly when no battle stirs, and though his shoulders were broad, the mantle of silence pressed upon him. He listened, not for words, but for the beating heart of his realm. What he heard was frail and faltering. Somewhere below, in the twisting vaults about which even the oldest charts spoke seldom, the castle itself was sighing, as if each stone remembered brighter songs now lost. The stewards dared not disturb him save one, and that one feared no watchful gaze but his own reflection. Dirty McCringle, and twice as clever, slipped between torch
Where is this? I'm looking for this place out here.
Beneath his patched cloak.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Bowed low,
You never know what you're gonna find.
held the bundle out. A fragment of parchment peeked from the fold.
I think I went too far.
Ink the color of dried blood. My lord, he murmured, voice sweet as soiled
Damn it, I don't know where this place is.
I bring tidings from the villages of Evermist Gap. The malady they name buck fever grows bolder.
I'm putting in, slowly putting in, some hidden secrets out here in the forest. I want this to be a place of, exploration. Maybe some more, just some nooks and crannies. But yeah, and I'm hopefully going to, put in... What was it going to be here? Graveyard song. Oh yeah, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead. That one. Not dead yet though. Not dead yet though. It's this one. Ah. You'd actually get lost. That's true. Dang. But yeah, I want it'd be cool to have a couple of other items that could be useful but not necessary. That way if groups come out here and explore, one person could light the way with the hammer, another person could have another object, and another person could yet carry another object. All of use but never really necessary. I guess the hammer would be necessary. But I want to make multiple items there for a group, but then also I don't want to take away from the single player experience. Where the hell am I? I know where this, if I'm up in the treehouse, I sort of know which way to go. Okay, so there's our big ass tree. How far out does it go? I don't even know. See, if I'm doing it right, if I'm making it right, then that question will hopefully be hard to answer and always kind of be asked in the adventurer's mind, you know. You know? Because although this, of course, is finite, like any other game, you can put in the head or the mind of the adventurer. You can gesture to their minds bigness and openness through clever means of development. I don't know where I am. Okay, there's the statue. I got some avatars with built-in torches. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Any avatars with their own built-in lights, or those avatars that can cast spells. It'd be really cool out here. Oh, you can see the glow of the treehouse. I feel like I'm really close. My idea for this place that I was having last night, as I was trying to develop the forest more, was to have some side stories, if you will, for lack of a better word. Not really side stories. Side when it comes to anything but the Fellowship of Funk and that main storyline, you know. Thinking about putting some side storyline stuff that you all can discover out here that will have their own, you know, beginnings and ends to their tales. Imagine you walking out here and then discovering a door, a cellar door right here with some ruins. And then when you know, and then that could be where it begins. Then I have some stuff planned out. I don't want to, because I'm already started working on it. I don't want to give it away. It has nothing to do with a door in the ground either. Yo, Jonesy, what's happening? Yeatingtons? You dropped your pipe over there? Is that where I am at? I'm lost in the night. I'm lost in the night, Jonesy. We're here, yeah, welcome on in, get on in here. We're here, exploring more parts of Funkatron. Yeah. This is still the Drunken Dragon world. In VRChat. I've just added a lot to it. And now the forest below the treehouse is explorable. What treehouse? In that big ass tree right there. Is this? Yeah, I'm definitely gonna hang our mugs right there. All right up in there. Ugh. Excuse me. What a cozy little hangout here. Goob Gob Boom and Zoom, the outhouse. Now with 37% fewer splinters. Damn. Launch lever. Seat of Destiny. The blast hatch. Lab test results are in. Successful launches. 3 of 5. Hey, that's not bad. Max distance. Far. Safety rating improved. Inventor interview. Yes, you scream on the way up. For sale, slightly used boom and zoom. Mach 4. Scorch marks more severe than expected. 37%. I'm telling you. I'm still plucking some from behind. It happens. They're still improving. Back to those hits. KPP 101, the quiet storm. See if we can see the light of the
Are you a content creator?
the light of
Are you
the
out there grinding 24/7, 365?
we've lost the hammer.
Sponsored or pushed by a
It's somewhere out there.
company? Well, here's your friendly reminder to always post any and every act of charity.
I can find it in the daytime. Let's just go to the
Take
daylight.
advantage of social media and those in need by posting about it. This will inevitably get your following bigger. And remember,
It's so cozy in here. I don't even want to leave the treehouse.
precious followers. Happy streaming and have a great night.
Jonesy, if you want to listen to some more lore, I just put up on YouTube last night an hour and 20-minute long tale narrated by me. But I spent a lot of time, a lot of hours adding in a soundscape to it, a little soundtrack to add with the mood changes as the story goes on. Another book from Tales of the Funklands. Have you seen my dooski? Yeah. Oh, really nice hangout here. A really nice hangout. This isn't even the Drunken Dragon, like the actual tavern. The tavern's way up. Yon. You can see it on top of the mountain right there. Nice. The owl. Owl green. I think my next avatar I'll make more like this. This is just a random avatar I found. But I like the cartoon stylized aesthetic of it. Very cool. And very optimized. I don't even know. I don't even remember where I put that shit I was trying to find. That's good, though. Because I don't need to give it away. Give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away. Keep it secret and safe. Doom, doom, doom. Doom, 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 doom. Oh, by the way, how do you get to the next part of the game? This. Right underneath the treehouse is a Goop Gob Boom and Zoo. One person at a time. And it takes, I think, like 6-7 seconds to recharge. Let's check it out. Bam! Uh-oh. Denver, welcome in. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Get up to the drunken dragon. Oh. About time you woke up. Oh yeah, I gotta change this text to no. No. Because now what will happen is, turns out the Goob Gob Boom and Zoom didn't quite zoom us enough. Malfunction. Hey, we already went over the statistics. Can't talk. Miscalculated the angle. It happens. Or maybe I just didn't boom enough. You know what I'm saying? Should have ate more buck beans. Let's see. You drink more Buck Lightning after you allowed that damn more than you got. You slept all day. Oh, the Kringle Wolves. No. Ow. We gotta take that old cream smuggling route. Down from 100% splinters, that's an improvement. Sometimes it is. We gotta go, look. Look at this cream. We gotta go down that old cream road. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Professor McMurdo. The air grows stale and the feeling of ancient funk washes over you. You are now in the mountain. Hey, look. It's BB. From Tales of the Funklands. Denver, how did you find this stream? Have you been here before? Denver 4445. This is the old cream smuggling route. You know? The old creamy road.
Every long lost cream brought me to where you are. You were my creamy star.
You were.
I couldn't believe that cream creaming me on my way. Creamy right where we are. Sweet Granny knows it's true. 'Cause 'cause God bless the creamy road that led me straight to you.
The creamy road. Look at it, y'all. There used to be so much cream smuggled through these hallways. It used to be just dripping with cream. Ladled. Drizzled. It was a cream cake factory.
Every long lost cream
Take it up like that, yeah.
brought me to where you are. You were my creamy star. I couldn't believe that cream creaming me on my way. Creamy right where we are. Sweet granny knows it's true.
Sweet granny.
God bless the creamy road that led me straight to you.
Led me to you.
Sweet granny knows it's true. 'Cause God bless the creamy road
It did.
that led me straight to you.
KPP 101, The Quiet Storm. Bringing me home. That was me with the Buck Bottom Hollow Boys with our hit track. God bless the creamy road. Streaming everywhere. 18 albums streaming everywhere. Look at them, y'all. All right, now like this. Now let's this. Let's talk to old Buckleberry. He just wants to know where Morin is. Kringlewoods. Gotta blow through the horn. The ancient horn of Culule. Oh, Lord! Damn, that horn's loud as hell. Ah, there's our ride. It's about to get bucked. Welcome. If you're just joining us, this is a virtual world that I have built and continue to build that serves as mine and my small audience, but loyal Falconeers. It serves as our own virtual 3D play space where we get to control the tales. We do the updates. I've created all these characters, this story, this backstory, the card game over here, the virtual space here. You can join me live right now, free on PC, also in VR. tcpoole.com for more information. Get in the Discord. This is next level. I just thought that was a great time for a promo. Oh yeah, this fucking camera. This is something that hopefully the people in VRChat will remedy. Because the camera, for some reason, is not culling like the rest. Or like the other kit, like the actual camera. So maybe... What the fuck? What is this? A center for ants? What the shit? Hold on one second. Because this water doesn't look appropriate through this camera. Why, though? Why? See, and now it looks so good. Because I got the camera off. Isn't this some relaxing cave music? What? The water might need a Schmeat treatment. Mm-hmm. That's true. We're gonna have to tenderize this water. Because right now, the water looks like shit. Well, shit for a cave. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. See, now feast your eyes on this water. Oh. Look at this old goob gob. Gooby gob. Now we're deep inside the old cream smuggling. The old cream smuggling cave. Sing thy tune o'er silent seas. Let yield funk and cream be keys. Melodies torch on midnight tide. Thunder brews hymn shall be thy guide. Let's click it. Yoinkle bees. But father, I've never seen the yoinkle bees in person. Look, they're raising the old lanterns of Cuyulay. Now we can jump. Yeah. Yeah. Cream. This cave's reverb has got the pipes sounding angelic. Oh, almost fell off. Uh-oh. It's dark right here. Can't see shit. Help me. Allah. Bang. Oh, that looks really cool. Ooh, la, la. And this is probably one of my favorite scenes from the entire world. Or this entire part of Funkatron. Now that's how the water's supposed to look, brother. You're doing it, Peter. Oh. It doesn't need anything. 'Tis complete. What if we get bit by a spider right there? And then we have to go get some cream beans. Oh shit! We're in the mountain now, boy. By God, by God. Why? Oh, I'm scared. Back into the caves of wonder. Oh, back. Hey.
You're dead, you're dead. You passed away to the great yon where skeletons play. The bones they dance, the spirits in glee. Where a noob like you deserves to be. If you played better, if you played right, you wouldn't be here, a dead noob's delight. You're dead, you've passed away.
Scooby-Doo, wow. Let me go. Blah.
You're dead, you passed away
To the great yawning where skeletons play.
The bones they dance, the spirits in glee. Where a noob like you deserves to be.
I'm a noob.
If you played better, if you played right, you wouldn't be here, a dead noob's delight. You're dead, you passed away.
They should give the camera shift for speed. The speed.
Dead, you're dead.
You passed away to the great yawning. You're dead, old wizard.
The spirits in glee where a noob
Like you deserves to be.
if you played better, if you played right, you wouldn't be here, a dead noob's delight. You're dead, you've passed away.
Wow. Dead.
If you played better, if you played right, you wouldn't be here, a dead noob's delight. You're dead,
Whoa, daddy, you're dead, you're dead.
whoa, you're dead, you've passed away.
Okay, I get lost. We gotta go. Oh. Now, I wonder. I wonder if this water is gonna be messed up too. Yep. Why? Why? Why does it make me be so bored? Up we go. We've almost made it. trying to think of why the camera does what it does. Why is it making the water look shit? Not now, the water looks how it's supposed to. Intended, should I say. I guess looking like shit is in the eye of the shitter. But it's working as intended. It's some kind of lair that the their new camera is looking at. I can't quite put my fingy on it. Maybe. Oh. Hey. You've made it to the top of the Boogie Mountain. Or Mount Boogie. The Drunken Dragon. The best view of the Melody Mountain. Oh yeah, and now I can turn this back on. Hallelujah. Come on, go about there, bang, bang. You did it, you done it. The Toad Grand Prix. Yes. The magic carpet ride. Come here, you little mink dink. I don't know if I can get on it. It's too high. It's too high. Oh, wait. Wait. Oh, come on. No! Oh, fuck. Wait. I get it right here. No! Wait. Wait, right here. Oh, God. No! Please. Why isn't it letting me double jump? Did I not get my double dink up? No! It's gonna leave me now. Wait. Wait. Where to go? Oh no! Oh! Come on! Fuck! Can I just jump through this motherfucker? Ah, no! I put colliders everywhere! How did I get to the top that one time? Oh, there it is. Oh, no! Fuck! Wait, come around this. Okay, no, there's still time. There's still time. Come on, let me. Yes. And, oh, there it is. Oh! Yes. That's right, never doubt the captain. Oh my god. We made it. Now we can dance. Oh, I forgot to put the screen back in that room. Look. Oh, sweet lord. Okay, let's listen to some more of the tales from the Funklands here.
And the folk cry for aid. Brengus's eyes, pale and hard as new forged steel, lifted from dreaming distance. aid, he echoed, tasting the word. Have we not sent herbs and healers countless times? The healers sicken in their turn, McCringle replied. The herbs wither in their pouches before they cross the fields. Yet there is lore that speaks of darker roots. If we would carve the rot away, we must first know its name.
The rot.
He unfolded the parchment then, revealing lines of quavering script, symbols that crawled like living worms across the page. Brangus recoiled a breath. That is no lore drawn from our libraries. The naughty book of secrets is large, said McCringle gently. Pages wander. He smiled, showing teeth like broken chalk. This scrap speaks of casting veils upon the land, veils that feed upon fear and bloom into plague. If such a veil has been woven over Funkatron, we may yet unmake it. Brangus frowned. Somewhere deep within the stone, a low tremor stirred, a sound like distantly rolling drums. Fetch the High Alchemist upper, he commanded at last. Summon what healers remain. We shall lift this affliction or perish in the labor. McCringle bowed again, yet a shadow danced behind his eyes. He tucked the parchment away, turned, and slipped into the gloom. As he passed along dim passages, he brushed his fingers over cold walls, and where his touch lingered, small runes flickered ember red, then sank again into stone. None saw his smile save the stones themselves. Morning crept unwillingly upon the castle. Pale light filtered through stained glass to spill across flagstones like sour milk. In the outer ward, soldiers gathered in uneasy silence, their mail dull, their banners limp. They bore news of villages emptied overnight, of cattle that wandered north with hollow eyes, of children who coughed petals black as coal. Whispers named the plague, a punishment for forgotten sins. Others spoke of a power older than any mortal throne stirring beneath the world. All fell still when Brangus walked among them, yet even he could not unburden their hearts. He could only promise that hope still lingered, thin but unbroken, within the vault of his will. High above the Bailey Tower, a rook cried once, circling before it flew eastward toward the Evermist Gap, where swirling fog dimmed the horizon. There, beyond sight of mortal eyes, lay the track that...
So the Evermist Gap is wrought down here. Wrought there. The gap between that forest and here is Brangus.
That would soon bring a traveler of dwarf kind to these troubled halls, for tidings of need travel swifter than iron-shod boots. Yet on this morn, no such comfort was known. Only the hush, the blackened roses, and the silent thrumming of afflicted stone kept vigil with the lord of the keep. And in a chamber buried far beneath the chapel, McCringle unfolded fresh parchment, dipped his quill in ink blacker than night, and began to trace a circle of signs. With each stroke, the castle quivered. A breath of wind sighed through passages and extinguished 23 candles in the lower crypts. Above, Brangus lifted his helm and set it upon his brow, feeling once more the weight of iron and destiny. He did not know that a deeper weight had already been fastened to his heart. Thus the first chord of doom was struck in Brangus Castle, though its echo had yet to reach the ears of those who might answer. For now the roses withered on their stems, the villagers huddled in sickbeds, and the morning wore the color of ash. In the hush, a voice, too faint for waking ears, whispered from crumbling stone, "Seek the brew of awakening, or all shall fall to sorrow."
Dang.
So dawn passed into weary day, and day bent toward twilight.
The brew of
The torches
awakening.
waited to shiver again, the walls to whisper, and Vrisa, to rise crimson upon a realm poised upon the brink. Act 2, the Thunder Brews summons. Across the wide gray leagues that lie between Mount Boogie and the plains of Evermist, Gap there shuffled, stamping, and occasionally singing, a lone figure whose red beard flamed against the pallid morn. Lemmy Pemmy Thunderbrew, son of the Keg Lords and keeper of the Drunken Dragon's secret tap, had set forth at first whisper of Lord Brangus's need, for trouble is a keen draught, and dwarves of good heart will travel far to mend a spoiled brew. About his sturdy shoulders, he wore a cloak of waxed canvas, mottled by old soot and new road dust. On his back, he bore a casque bound with silver hoops and rune-etched staves, the Chronicle Cask, of which the oldest bar songs speak in awed refrain. Within its hollow slumbered no common ale but a cordial of memory, distilled drop by drop from tales long told beside hearth fire and helm. The land through which Lemmy trudged bore signs of sickness deeper than the scratches of autumn or the scabs of war. Grass lay flat where unseen feet had pressed it during the night, and many a thorn thicket stood stripped of leaf, as though a feverish wind had suckled its sap. At creekside huts he found doors barred and windows stuffed with rags soaked in vinegar, yet from within came the sound of coughing children and the soft weeping of their mothers.
Dang.
Once he raised his voice in greeting, offering draughts of thunder brew from a travel flask, but the folk shrank back, for word of plague makes even charity seem freighted with peril. So he went on, heart heavy under his keg, yet his stride never slackened. On the third evening, he glimpsed Brangus Castle across a field of frost-withered roses.
Well, it's the Daily Braille, the newspaper that knows you all too well.
That's right, old boppers.
The page delivered right to your door. It's the Daily Braille. Now let us show you some more. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da. Well, it's the Daily Braille, the Daily Braille.
Well, come on in here, old boppers. We've got a lot of things to talk about. It appears we're celebrating the anniversary of the Daily Braille. Today marks the anniversary of this publication. Women has been dedicated to distributing news across the Funklands of Funkatron. Though not every issue has come out perfect, we've worked with great endeavor to report the goings-on of the world. We thank all of you, reader people, for your continued support. This just in from the Daily Braille. Sweet lords, by the zest of Zestocules, it appears that bean wardens have uncovered illegal zestring beneath Old Man Thort's oat cellar. That's right, dozens of fermented cream beans found bubbling below his property. I just thought the floor was spicy. We're getting another issue in Bone of the Week from the Daily Braille. Archaeology or lunch? Suspicious notch. Too lumpy. Vaguely historic. Found under mysterious circumstances behind a soup shop in Boomtown. This curious bone is causing a stir among both locals and scholars. Experts are divided. Could it be an ancient relic? A cursed object? Or merely some leftover from particularly chewy stew? Citizens invited to vote. Relic? Or just a tough bone? This has been the Daily Braille. Now back to you.
Well, it's the Daily Braille, the Daily Braille, the newspaper that knows you all too well. Page after page, delivered right to your door. It's the Daily Braille, now let us show you some more. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da. Well, it's the Daily Braille, the Daily Braille, the newspaper
And now-
that knows you all too well. Page after page, delivered right to your door. It's the Daily Braille, now let us show you some more.
And now, back to Tales from the Funklands. Betrayal at Brangus Keep.
The keep's highest tower gleamed pale within the dying light, but no banners fluttered upon its crown. Only great ravens wheeled there, silent and slow, as though watching for the world's last heartbeat. Lemmy felt the chronicle cask vibrate, not in fear, but in warning, for the vessel was forged to answer sorrow wherever it brewed. He pressed on, crunching petals that crumbled like charcoal beneath his boots. At the gate, a pair of guards met him. Their helms rhymed with the same black dust that caked the roses. They peered down doubtful visors. Yet when he spoke his name, their mien softened. For even in these shadowed days, the renown of Thunderbrew craft carried weight. With halting courtesy, they led him through passages lit by meager lanterns. The stone breathed cold about them, whispering drafts that smelled of damp archives and old grief. They brought him at last to the Hall of Echoes. There, upon the jet throne, sat Lord Brangus, helm-clad once more. Torches flared as Lemmy strode forward and bowed low. Lemmy Pemmy Thunderbrew at your service, my lord, and at the service of all who dwell in sorrow.
So to update you, Lord Brangus in the Southern Funklands is gone to shit. The Death Knight himself, all his shit's crumbling. Buck fever is running wild through his kingdom. And what you gonna do, brother, when Buck fever runs wild on you? And Lemmy Pimmy Thunderbrew just got to him. We're gonna see if he's gonna help him out. You can meet Lemmy Pimmy in this tavern we're at. We're at the Drunken Dragon. Let's go.
Brangus inclined his head. His eyes showed neither pride nor welcome, only a stern fatigue. You have walked far. Speak quickly, for the hours hasten and my people fade. So Lemmy set the chronicle cask before the dais and with reverent care loosed its iron locks. A faint golden scent rose, sweet as distant harvest. This vessel, he said, was seasoned with the chronicles of many lands. A single sip can mend the mind's weariness, yet it is no idle cordial. Its virtue blossoms only where fellowship is not forgotten. If rot be eating the heart of your realm, my lord, then I beg leave to seek its root, else any draught I offer will prove thin. At these words, a shiver like a drawn blade ran through the hall. From behind, a pillar stepped Dirty McCringle.
Dirty McCringle!
Hands folded within sleeves, the color of dried blood. You're concerned as you credit, Master Dwarf, he said, voice purring over the flagstones. Yet time is a luxury no longer poured in our cups. A potion compounded this very night might curb the buck fever before dawn. You carry skill and rare elixirs. Give them freely, and we shall speak of quests thereafter. Lemmy regarded him, noting the hollow beneath the steward's cheekbones and the quick, glimmering eyes that never quite met his own. Brews brewed in haste, oft brew ill, he answered, and cures.
Dang. I gotta write that down again. Brews brewed in haste are often brewed ill. What was that again? Oh, man.
Purring over the flagstones. Yet time is a luxury no longer poured in our cups. A potion compounded this very night might curb the buck fever before dawn. You carry skill and rare elixirs. Give them freely, and we shall speak of quests thereafter. Lemmy regarded him, noting the hollow beneath the steward's cheekbones and the quick, glimmering eyes that never quite met his own. Brews brewed in haste oft brew ill, he answered, and cures forced too harshly tend to twist what they were meant to heal.
Dang.
Let me first taste the water of your wells, tread the rose fields, speak with the sick. Then shall I know how best to pour hope. McCringle's lips curled, yet he bowed. As you wish, I will myself conduct you. The keep hides nooks even our Lord forgets. Brangus, whose gaze had drifted to the shadowed arches, stirred. So be it. Master Thunderbrew, my key and kinsman are at your bidding. Yet mark this, every hour the roses shed more black petals, and every petal is a life. Stand not on ceremony. Lemmy bowed once more. I will stand only upon truth. Thus began a strange wandering through the corridors of Brangus Castle. McCringle led with slow steps, lantern held low.
Okay, they're going to get the thing, they're going to do the thing, they're going to get the thing, you know what I'm saying? But...
Well, it's the Daily Braille, the Daily
Yeah, we've got a, we've got a couple of new pages for you here. The Daily Braille. Come on. The newspaper that knows you all too well. Page after page, delivered right to your door. It's the Daily Braille. Now let us show you some more. All right, so looks like we've got Outhouse Oracle speaks again. The seat of truth keeps talking. Scented candles or carnage? Fungal features and mood spores. Spores up, morale down. Traders in shroom caps are bullish and bullish. While Puff Blast investors remain cautious, one mushroom walked off during appraisal. Experts now rethinking reality. Coxie Loxy says, a robed Sporlock is shown snoozing in a mossy fountain? What? This has been the Daily Braille. The Daily Braille. And God bless the creamy road.
Every long lost dream brought me to where you are. You were my creamy star. I couldn't believe that cream creaming me on my way. Creamy right where we are. Sweet Granny knows it's true.
Sweet Granny knows.
'Cause God bless the creamy road that led me straight to you.
bless them up. That's right. Welcome to the most buck-wild stream that cannot be explained. It's too buck. It's too much. And yet... The gates of Zudi. Here we are right here on the Drunken Dragon. Look at him, y'all. Go ahead and take it up now.
Every long lost cream brought me to where you are. You were my creamy star. I couldn't believe that cream creaming me on my way. Creamy right where we are. Sweet Granny knows it's true. 'Cause God bless the creamy road that led me straight to you. Sweet Granny knows it's true.
What the fuck?
'Cause God bless the creamy road that led me straight to you.
Green, 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 green. Plastic hero, let me cream you. KPB 101, The Quiet Storm, and now back to Tales from the Funklands. Betrayal at Brangus Keep.
And behind came Lemmy, shouldering the chronicle cask, its staves faintly aglow. They passed chambers where scribes once bent over tomes, now fallen silent beneath mold-flecked scrolls, stables where steeds stamped restlessly, though their eyes were milk-pale, chapels whose candles guttered in unseen drafts. In each place, Lemmy knelt, brushed the stone, and listened. He heard a tremor running beneath the masonry, a steady pulse like a distant drum muffled by earth, and from deep within the keep, there drifted now and again a sighing note, mournful and half musical, as though somewhere a vast harp of bone had been plucked by weary hands. At length, they came to a narrow stair, corkscrewing down into gloom. The lantern's light slithered along walls slick with moisture. At the foot of the stair yawed a low archway, its lintel carved with symbols Lemmy did not know, though their curves sent prickles along his skin. Beyond lay a corridor, and down that corridor welled a smell of roses, sweet yet rank, like blossoms left too long in the grave. McCringle paused upon the threshold. "Few walk here," he murmured. "These vaults were sealed in the first days of Brangus's rule, for they burrow close to the castle's heart. Some say the stones remember every sorrow ever spoken within these walls, and sing them back in dreams." "Stones do more than remember," Lemmy replied. He lifted the cask from his back and touched its rim to the floor. Instantly a soft amber glow spread, bathing the passage in honey light. Words flickered across the lintel as though inked anew. "Seek the singing stone, for plague is the echo of pride." McCringle exhaled, the lantern trembling in his grasp. "Wizardry," he hissed, though with whether disdain or wonder Lemmy could not tell. "Lore," the dwarf corrected, eyes narrowing. He began forward, but the steward caught his arm. "Another path first," McCringle urged, voice low. "Come, let us look to the outer wards. The sickness creeps fastest there." Lemmy studied him and saw beads of sweat upon the man's brow despite the chill. Yet he nodded,
He's a
hefted
dwarf.
the cask once more, and
fucked
allowed
up.
himself to be guided away. He had read enough riddles.
I fucked up. He said, man, he's a dwarf. Dirty McCringle is, as we know, a dwarf. A shape-shifting dwarf. Dirty McCringle can transform into a Kringle wolf.
And ale foam to know that a straight road rarely leads to the deepest well, so they climbed again toward daylight. Yet though their feet ascended, Lemmy's mind sank downward, following that faint harp note into the unknown dark. There, he thought, lies the root of the rot, and perhaps a rose still unspoiled.
The root of the
He
rot.
resolved that, come what may, he would tread once more those sealed stairs, even should every torch gutter and McCringle himself bar the way. For the chronicle cask had tasted the air of that passage, and its runes now glimmered as if eager for a draught yet unpoured. Outside, the wind shifted. From villages beyond the gates rose a new wailing, thin and desperate, borne upon wings of dust. Lord Brangus heard it from the high tower and clenched gauntleted fists. Night would fall soon, and with night, the buck fever marched. Only a dwarf with stories in a cask walked between the kingdom and despair, and already the shadows of Brangus Castle were stirring like hands that reach to tip the vessel before the first drop may pass any mortal lips. Act 3, Shadow Stirring. Twilight stole across the Funklands, painting the sky in dusky indigos while thin stars trembled at the rims of oncoming cloud. Within Brangus Castle, the torches had been kindled, yet their glow seemed cowed, as if each flame feared to trespass beyond its iron sconce. Lemmy-Pemmy Thunderbrew, sleepless since his arrival, stood upon a parapet that faced the Evermist Gap. Far below the outer walls, he saw movement along the north road. Dim lanterns bobbed like fireflies adrift on a sea of gloom. Presently, the ward horns sounded and the gates creaked open. A modest train of crystal-lined wagons crept into the courtyard, wheels crunching over petals black as cinders. At their head rode Broby Gearson, third son of Old Man Gearson, short of stature yet broad of shoulder, helm plumed in forest green. Perched upon the high backboard of the first wagon hovered Bibi the Sprite, a mote of living dawn whose wings flickered emerald and gold. About them huddled farmers, millers, and ragged children. All bore the gray pallor of buck fever, yet none had surrendered to its final chill. Lemmy descended the stair two at a time. "Broby," he called, and the dwarf's greeting rang hearty against stone. Yet Broby's eyes held a shadow. "Evermist villages have emptied," he said quietly. "Folks speak of voices that drift through mist at night, calling them by name. Those who answer do not return." He set a hand on the haft of his axe. "The mist followed us here. See how the roses hush beneath it." Bibi fluttered to Lemmy's shoulder. Her glow, warm as hearth fire, pushed the gloom back a little, yet could not cleanse it. "Every mile, the dark grew thicker," she whispered. "Something at the heart of these walls drinks the life from earth and sky, and it is growing thirsty." The refugees were guided into the lesser hall, where long tables once groaned beneath feast platters. Now they offered little more than crusts and thin broth, yet even that fare drew grateful murmurs. Lemmy filled a cup from the chronicle cask and pressed it upon a coughing child. A faint honey hue bloomed in the boy's cheeks, and his breath eased. Hope kindled round the benches like sparks leaping from tinder, though outside the wind moaned in barren rose hedges. Lord Brangus came late to the hall, helm removed, silver-streaked hair unbound. His gaze softened at sight of the refugees, then hardened again when he saw how wan they were despite the sprite light. McCringle slipped at his heel, eyes glittering, lips curved in a thin smile that never reached his cheeks. "These walls are stout," Brangus told the weary folk, his voice a tempered bell. "Rest here tonight and fear no wandering mist." Yet even as he spoke, the chandeliers quivered. From unseen corridors drifted a murmur, a chant in a tongue older than these stones, measured and breathless, like monks repeating a single unending petition. The sound seeped beneath doors and rang faintly in window glass. Children clutched their mothers, men gripped table edges. A hush fell. Bibi's wings flared brighter. "That is no mortal prayer," she breathed. McCringle bowed, unperturbed. "Only the wind through forgotten cloisters," he said. But Lemmy saw his fingers tighten about a parchment roll tucked beneath his sleeve. When the tumult passed, Brangus ordered heavy shutters barred and placed sentries at each threshold. Yet the chanting did not cease. It receded, then swelled again as if roaming the corridors, seeking a listening heart. That midnight, Lemmy stole from his chamber, Bibi flitting ahead to guide him. Broby joined them, axe on shoulder, for where one Gearson treads peril, seldom lingers far behind. Together they descended to the vaults where hours earlier McCringle had turned him aside. The sealed lintel greeted their lamplight, its warning runes now smoldering a sullen red. A They pressed on. A narrow passage opened into a cavernous crypt whose pillars leaned like drunken sentinels. Upon each pillar spiraled carvings of roses entwined with chains, and from every blossom trailed veins of black sap that seeped across ceiling and floor, converging upon a stone dais at the chamber's heart. There stood an ancient harp of bone, strung with strands that looked spun from moonlight.
If you notice the choir theme that was singing earlier, the sound of the keep from underneath is the same melody as the bone harps here. A little extra there for you extra nerds like me.
No mortal breath stirred the strings, yet they thrummed with the same chant that haunted the halls above. Lemmy's pulse quickened. "Here beats the hidden heart," he murmured. He lifted the chronicle cask. Its staves glowed bright amber, then dulled as though strangled by unseen roots. Broby traced a rune with his gauntlet. "These chains mock the Bean Warden's sigil," he growled. "Someone has twisted their lore." Bibi darted nearer, her glow bathing the harp. Where the sprite light touched, the bone darkened and cracked. Sour vapors hissed forth. The chant faltered, rose again, then split into discordant voices wailing in despair. Behind them a soft laugh echoed. Dirty McCringle stepped from shadow, lantern low, parchment unfurled in his hand. Symbols writhed upon the page like worms in loam. "Curious souls," he purred, "wandering where kings themselves dare not linger." Broby moved between McCringle and Lemmy, axe raised. "Your heel drips with plague sap, steward! Speak quick or be still!" McCringle's smile widened. "I speak through others now." He lifted the parchment and sang a single word. The bone harp answered. Pillars shuddered, black chains writhed. From fissures in the floor rose figures clad in antique mail, visors sealed, roses of ash blooming across their breastplates. Their eyes glowed ember red. "Canker Knights," whispered Bibi, her radiance flickering. Lemmy uncorked the chronicle cask. Golden mist billowed, weaving a dome round the three companions. Where mist met chain, a hiss of pain rang out and fragments of rust burst into sparks. Yet the Canker Knights pressed forward, swords dripping black sap. McCringle retreated up the stair, chanting anew. Stone groaned overhead, dust cascaded. "Fight if you must," his voice echoed. "Every drop of hope you spend feeds the root beneath, and the heart will sing sweeter for your folly." With a cry, Broby hewed the first night. Axe met, sap steel, showering sparks of green fire. Bibi shot upward, tracing circles of pure light that seared the air. Lemmy braced the cask upon his hip, splashing its brew against taloned gauntlets. Those touched faltered, yet each blow drained the cask's glow further. The chant of the harp rose into a shriek. Chains lashed from the pillars like living whips, striking at sprite and dwarf alike. A loop caught Broby's arm, dragging him toward the dais where sap pooled thick as tar. He gritted his teeth, but the fetter burned cold. Lemmy surged forward, slamming the cask upon the chain. Staves cracked, amber liquid burst forth in a sheet of golden rain. The chain recoiled, hissing, and Broby staggered free. Yet the chronicle cask lay split, its contents puddling upon the stones. The dome of mist guttered, dwindling. Silence fell. The Canker Knights withdrew into the gloom as if satisfied. The harp's voice sank to a low murmur, almost tender.
Yeah, so they found Dirty McCringle down there, fucking doing some dirty ass shit underneath the castle, and all these like thorns and shit like that, and the bone harp thing that was ringing out. It's like some relic of the castle. And, yo, KC, yo, what's happening? I got the double hat. I'm double hatted up. We're listening to some new lore. And I'm kind of explaining, updated what's happening here, KC. Welcome in, long time Falconeer there. So yeah, they're down, so, Bro B, who is, look, just let me get over here, yawn, real quick. Let me get over here, yawn. Okay. Let me update you on what the fuck's going on, yawn, okay? Come over here. So, we've got some drama happening on Funkatron. The planet right here, yawn. We're going down here to Bringus Keep in the southern Funklands. That's that big ass continent right there. Down here, sort of just like in the Finkel Forest, Evermist Forest, and of course down in Bringus Castle is the realm of the Bringus Legion, led by Lord Bringus. There's a fever sweeping across Evermist and southern Finkel Forest and all of this land that you see here, save for the Yoinkelberry Islands and into the Mellow Marshes across the Guego Sea. Buck fever is killing off a lot of Lord Bringus' stuff. He's all depressed, he's on his throne, and his castle's all fucked up. There's also some mutiny going on. One of his stewards, Dirty McCringle, the shape-shifting dwarf, who can also shift into a Kringle wolf form, has gone into the depths of his castle and is being very, very naughty. So Bringus needs help from the Drunken Dragon, where we are right now. Limmy Pimmy Thunderbrew, one of the keepers and owners of the Drunken Dragon, who is also this guy right here. That's Limmy Pimmy Thunderbrew. Today, he's obviously out of shape and not ready for any adventures, but back in the day, he was going buck wild. So he goes down, says, Lord Bringus, get up, I'm here to help you. Also, from Gearson, the realm of Gearson, one of the princes named Bro B comes down to also help Bringus. And that's where we are. And that's where we're picking up. They're deep in the castle. Dirty McCringle's there, getting buck wild. Let's go.
Crooning some lullaby of ruin. BB's light flickered weakly.
Raven, yes.
The cask is broken, she whispered. Its stories bleed away. Broby clasped Lemmy's shoulder. We live yet, and there are more tales in our lungs than in any barrel, he said grimly. We must quit this place before it drinks our final breath. They turned, bearing the remnants of the cask, and climbed the stair. Above, they found corridors empty, torches dark. Somewhere distant, a bell tolled once, then ceased as if choked. The night smelled of roses turned to rot. When at last they reached the great court, dawn's first gray light seeped over the battlements. Lord Brangus stood alone beside the fountain's dry bowl, sword bare, eyes upon the horizon where clouds boiled black and bruise purple. He spoke without turning. Something within these walls has awakened, he said. I feel it drawing the breath of every stone. What did you find below? Lemmy answered, voice rough. Chains upon roses, a harp of bone that sings plague, and a steward who is no steward at all.
Ooh.
He knelt, offering the shattered staves. Damn. My cask lies ruined, yet hope is not wholly spilt. There is a deeper root, my lord, and we have cut only a thorn. Bringus closed his eyes, and for a heartbeat, the weight of ages bent his shoulders. Then he sheathed his sword. This eve we ride the length of my lands, he said. If rot be in the root, we shall hew to the core. Far above, ravens wield their wings, ink strokes upon a storm-laden sky. The first breath of dawn carried with it a distant chorus, half song, half lament. Bibi shivered. Lemmy tightened the straps of his pack. Broby laid one hand upon his hammer haft. Somewhere in the vaults below, the bone harp whispered once more, a note like the cracking of ice upon a winter river, and the petals in the courtyard trembled, as though remembering what life felt like before the frost. Act 4, Revelations in the Vault. Noon passed like a swallowed sigh, rain swept in from the west and drummed upon Brangus Castle so that the tower seemed lost in a shroud of falling silver. Within those echoing walls, Lord Brangus gathered Lemmy, Broby, and Bibi in a chamber seldom opened. The lanterns in that place were few, and their light behaved as if uncertain where it ought to linger, for the very air smelled of secrets long kept and ill at ease to be woken. I have shown few this door, Brangus said, touching the handle of beaten bronze. The gallery lies beyond. Once I walked there for strength, but of late the songs within have grown silent, and I fear the silence more than any cry. Lemmy bowed his head. Then let us look together, my lord, for silence can hide either death or birth, and we must learn which. The door sighed open upon a spiral stair that wound far downward, deeper even than the crypt where the bone harp stirred. The steps were smooth with age, and faint runes glimmered beneath the grime, as if fragments of long-forgotten starlight had been caught in the stone and left to fade. When at last they reached the foot of the stair, a hall stretched before them broad as any throne room, though no pillar bore its roof. Instead, the vault above seemed woven of root-like arches that met and crossed in a lattice of pale stone. Between those arches hung vast frescoes, each a window upon another hour of the world. Bibi's light kindled brighter, and dust stirred from the floor as though greeting her glow. She flew close to the nearest painting, wings humming. There she beheld Lord Brangus in his youth, helm unscarred, sword raised against a swarm of smoke wraiths along the banks of Deeb Lake. The colors were strong, the lines unbroken, and a hush of awe fell upon them all. Yet when they approached the second mural, a chill crept into their hearts. The scene upon that wall showed Brangus lifting wounded sprites from wreckage set aflame by flame drakes.
Dang.
Yet half the colors had drained away. The sky in the painting was a sickly gray, and where bright wings of sprite landsfolk should have gleamed, only pallid smears remained, and so it went. Each mural they viewed lay dimmer than the last, until they came to one near the farthest arch that was nigh erased, shapes barely guessed beneath a veil of ashen dust. In its center a shadow gaped, where once must have stood the Lord himself, but the figure was gone, leaving only a hollow outline that seemed to drink the lantern light.
Yeah, we're going to learn more about Lord Brangus in the months and weeks to come. So Lord Brangus brought everybody to like his secret grove or whatever, and these halls are lined with paintings of himself that show his his past. Some of them good and some of them not so good. Like the one that's like he's trying to, or he's having to rescue all these sprites that got clucked up. Let's go on.
Brangus reached toward the wall, but his gauntlet passed into cold emptiness. He staggered back as though stung. "A thief of memory walks these halls," he said. What sorcery feeds upon a man's very deeds? Broby's hand found the haft of his axe. Sorcery named Steward, he muttered. They pressed onward until the hall expanded into a circular vault. In its center rose a dais of marble, and upon the dais stood an iron tripod bearing a crystal basin.
I really wanted to make like some animation to this and some visuals to this. Maybe I will one of these days, but I just wanted to get it published so I could share it with you all, and so I could listen to it as well, and in its entirety, you know.
From the rim of that basin, thin streams of color trickled downward, hues drawn from unseen corners of the vault, flowing like water, yet shining like the fragments of a broken rainbow. Those streams met at the basin's heart, where the colors coiled into a dark whirlpool, then seeped through a narrow spout into a silver phial, clutched by a single figure. Dirty McCringle stood robed in crimson, parchment unfurled in one hand, the other steady upon the phial. Words in a harsh tongue dripped from his lips, each syllable striking the marble with the weight of iron nails. He did not turn when Brangus called his name, but the parchment brightened,
Shit's going down.
sigils writhing as if alive. McCringle, Brangus cried, voice ringing against the arches. Cease this plunder and look upon what you have wrought.
Cease this plunder!
Only then did the steward lift his head, eyes glittering green like glass, chilled in winter. Plunder, my lord? I would say preservation. He raised the phial, and swirls of color eddied within, though the mixture had grown dim as smoldering ash. These pretty paintings were rusting away long before I came. I merely gather what their stones can no longer guard. Power wasted is power lost. The power is not yours to gather, Lemmy said, stepping forward. He steadied the broken staves of the chronicle cask at his belt. Relics now, but still marked by runes of comfort. These memories belong to the land and to the hearts of folk who trusted this keep. McCringle laughed, a thin, dry rasp. Do you imagine their trust will outlive them? Buck fever eats the flesh, then the mind, and last of all the deeds. When the final villager falls, who will recall noble Brangus of the southern marches? Only the steward who safeguarded such light, and I shall wield it as I please. At those words, the streams quickened. Colors fled the murals in ragged ribbons, and darkness spread behind them like ink poured into water. Brangus strode to the dais, sword drawn, but chains of blackened rosereed erupted from the marble, coiling round his limbs. He fought, yet the enchanted bonds clung like molten iron. Broby charged, axe flashing, and cleaved two coils apart. Lemmy hurled the remains of his cask. Splinters struck the basin's edge, and chips of crystal fell away. At once the whirlpool faltered, hues tumbling out like escaping birds. BB darted through the air, trailing sparks that seared the black vines. McCringle hissed a curse and thrust his parchment high. The sigils upon it flared, summoning a tide of gray mist. From that mist emerged the Canker Knights, silent and terrible, armor wet with sap.
For those that are wondering, a canker is an old word that was used for like sores that were on plants and stuff like that, and then later even on the body. So these knights that McCringle is summoning are like degraded knights with plants that have started to take over their armor, that are not plants that are beautiful, but rather that those invasive species type weeds and moss that destroy and decay. That's what a canker knight is.
Blades glowed with sickly light. Chaos filled the gallery. The Boneheart below seemed to answer, its dirge rising through the stones until the vault quaked. Murals cracked along their seams. Whole fragments of Brangus's youth peeled away, consumed by dust.
Oh.
Lemmy saw the steward backing toward a side passage, file clutched to his chest.
So he's stolen the color out of, and the vibrancy out of Lord Brangus's paintings.
With sudden resolve, he drew a small flask from his belt, the last remnant of the ember brew he had saved since Mount Boogie days. He hurled it. The flask shattered against the basin, and for a breath, the air rang with warmth like ripe grain under sun. Golden light flooded the tripod, searing the streams clean. McCringle cried out as the whirlpool collapsed and color erupted in a wave. It swept across the vault, racing back up the ribbons toward the murals, painting them anew with furious speed. But the surge did not mend alone. It struck the Canker Knights, and their sap steel hissed, corroding into pitted rust. Armor clanged to the floor, empty of life, yet the victory cost dear. Marble popped, and fissures yawned across the dais as if the vault had been hollowed by grief.
Big yawn.
A roar like far thunder rolled beneath their feet. Dust rained, pillars moaned. McCringle lurched through the side arch, one arm shielding his eyes, still gripping the damaged file that now leaked a thin, smoking residue. BB spun after him, but a slab of ceiling crashed between, flinging her back. "Leave him," Brangus called, voice cracked with dust. "The castle fails." "We must flee or be entombed with our memories." They fled the gallery by the spiral stair, murals blazing with fresh life behind them, though many showed new scars where color had never returned. Stones trembled. Far below, the bone harp shrieked, strings snapping one by one. At last they burst into the upper halls.
Dang.
And there, Captain TC Poole and Thorin Oak-Kig met them.
Oh shit. So now, I just showed up and Thorin. Some call him Thorin Oak-Keg. It's still Thorin Thunderbrew, same person.
Armed for war, eyes wide at the tremors. "The sky skiff touched down not a moment too soon," Poole said, steadying Lemmy with one hand while
the sky's gift touched down not a moment too soon. My character's talking about the TC Falcon without saying TC Falcon right there. That's a little fun DVD commentary.
while the other hovered over his loot. "What root of ruin have you unearthed that the very walls quake in wrath?" Brangus lifted his sword, blade dark with fallen dust. "A root bound by roses and watered with stolen deeds, yet not sundered entire. McCringle has fled into deeper dark with a shard of that power. This storm will break harder before dawn." Then Thorin hefted a stout barrel, etched with fresh runes. "If dawn must wrestle storm, let it do so with stout heart," he said. "Here is new brewed hope, and it seeks companions bold." They turned toward the courtyard where the wind roared like a beast denied. Above, lightning flickered in clouds that bore the hue of bruised violet, and somewhere in those clouds, the ravens cried in wheeling fury. The castle stones beneath their feet still trembled, but the murals in their silent gallery now shone with fragile light, refusing at the last to forget. Yet far below the keep, in passages unwalked by any honest foot, a steward's footsteps fled ever downward, and the file at his breast pulsed with a livid glow, as if it carried in its heart the echo of an unfinished song. Act 5, The Brewing of Hope.
Oh, man, and that is KPP 101. The Quiet Storm.
Well, it's the Daily Braille, the newspaper that knows you all too well.
Oh, looks like we are
door. It's the Daily Braille. Now let us show you some more. How to do. It's the Daily Braille, the Daily Braille. That's right. The newspaper that knows you all too well. Page after page delivered right to your door. It's the Daily Braille. Now let us show you some more. I'll let us show you some more. I'll let us show you some more. That's right, the Goob Gob, Boom and Zoom. Cool, KPP 101 station, YouTube, yeah, adding that one for sure, that's it, KC. That's right, KPP 101, The Quiet Storm. We're here, fresh off of the... Oh, crack my knucks. Oh, my toe knuckles. Here at the Daily Braille, me and the Mink Dinks, we have been churning, burning, and yearning to get you another page of the Daily Braille. Right here we have one of Funkatron's #1 way to move around. Yes, there's airships, boats, zeppelins, and slug riding. But you can also hop into a Goob Gob, Boom, and Zoom. A Goob Gob, Boom, and Zoom, what is it? What could it be?
Imagine you needing to get to a place on Funkatron with the quickness. And you gotta take care of business. Introducing the Goob Gob Boom and Zoom. You go zoom after you go boom. Step into this next level outhouse built and erected and run by some of the Goob Gobs up in Gents near Scomp Forest. These outhouses can be found all over Planet Funkatron to help you and your party get to the next part of the adventure, get to the next part of the quest, get to the next part of the zest, and zest with the best. Hop in, do your business, and off you go. This has been your latest episode of the Daily Braille. It's the Daily Braille. It's Braille. Now back to Tales from the Funklands. Betrayal at Brangus Keep. We have our heroes just now joined by... Oh, the phones are still going off in the Daily Bro. Our heroes, Lemmy Pimmy, BB the Sprite, Broby Gearson, one of the princes of Gearson. The city as well, named after their family. And Lord Brangus, the Death Knight and ruler of the Brangus Legion himself, have gone down deep into the under Brangus Castle. They got zested by some Canker Knights and Dirty McCringle. They came back up, and then me and Thor and Thunderbrew got to him and were like, yo, we're about to get buck wild. Let's listen back in and go back into the Drunken Dragon. Storm clouds crouched upon the battlements, their bellies lit by hidden fire, and a wind like the breath of deep caverns coursed through every court of Brangus Castle. Yet within the armory of heralds, a gentler glow was kindling. Thorin Oak Keg, master cooper of Melody Mountains, had rolled his newest vessel beneath the high vault. Oak staves shone with fresh runes, and a scented warmth drifted from the bunghole, hinting of honeyed malt and summer orchards. Captain TC Poole knelt beside the barrel, head bent in quiet song. Each soft chord he drew from his silver-strung lute lingered in the air like the memory of sunrise. Lemmy Pemmy Thunderbrew stood opposite, steadying a shattered stave of the chronicle cask upon an anvil. Though the stave was cracked, glimmers yet pulsed in its grain, for the wood remembered every tale it had once held. BB hovered above them, scattering motes of sprite light into the shadows, while Broby Gearson watched the doors with axe ready. Lord Brangus alone remained absent, walking the ramparts to muster such defenders as plague and despair had spared. Thorin set his palm atop a rune near the cask's hoop. "Here sleeps the ember brew of awakening," he said. "It was racked only 7 days past and knows little of these sorrows. Yet poured true, it may still find the heart of the folk." Lemmy raised the broken stave.
You have to pour the brew true. If you learn anything from tonight's stream, learn that you have to pour the brew true. Oh, by the way, all these paintings back here, anybody that dabbles in maybe some image generation through Earth's lovely AI technologies, and you want to add to the stream and the lore and all this crazy shit we got going on, and you're like, I don't know how to add to it, I'm looking for new paintings to put in here, potential images of long depicting things long ago that potentially have happened on Funkatron. You can just invent it yourself if you want to. Picture an old battle, or what would be hanging in the Thunder Brew. You get what I'm talking about. Back to the story. Drop it in Discord.
Then let new song meet old memory. The chronicle wood may lend the brew a voice strong enough to shake the rot. They wedged the stave across the barrel's vent, sealed it with beeswax, and bound the joint in silver wire. BB traced the wire with fingers of light until each loop glowed amber. Poole's chords slipped into harmony with the humming wire, weaving music through oak and rune alike. Slowly the barrel stirred. A tremor passed along its staves. Runes brightened from drowsy red to fierce gold. From the tap, a single drop fell, splashing upon the flagstone. Where it landed, the gray dust receded, and a green shoot sprang up, tender yet unafraid of the dimness.
Tender.
Broby gave a low whistle. If one drop can wake stone, a cup might rouse a kingdom. Yet he had scarce spoken when a clang echoed in the corridor. Brangus strode in, rain glistening on his mail, face grim beneath the helm. "McCringle haunts the lower yard," he said, voice tight. "He rallies shadows against us. Already the outer wall listens to his worm tongue, and parts of it have begun to crumble." Poole rose, slinging the loot across his back. "Then we carry hope to the courtyard, before rot eats the threshold." Thorin drew a mallet, broke the seal, and filled a dozen stout flagons. Each he stoppered with cork and tied to his belt. Lemmy hefted the barrel itself onto a two-wheeled cart left from feasting days. Broby and Poole seized the shafts, and together they pushed into the stair hall, with BB darting ahead as scout. Rain beat through shattered clear stories, but the brew's glow pushed back the gloom. Wherever the cart passed, mold shrank. Roses paled from black to soft gray, and soldiers leaning sick against the wall lifted their heads in sudden wonder. Lemmy paused to pour sips for each. Faces quickened with color, coughs quieted, and in their eyes flickered the first sparks of will. Out in the grand courtyard, dusk churned like smoke. The broken fountain had become a pool of tar, and upon its rim stood dirty McCringle, cloak whipping in the gale. In his raised hand, the cracked phial glimmered with stolen colors.
Damn you.
Behind him loomed the gates of the bailey, half open and weeping dust. Ranking before those gates, shoulder to hollow shoulder, stood a host of canker knights.
McCringle.
Their helms were dull iron masks with no eyes, yet each sword burned black-green as bog fire. McCringle's voice carried through the rain. You bring lantern light to a hearth long gone cold. Give me the barrel, and I shall spare the folk one more night beneath their tatters. Lemmy stepped forward, beard sodden, hands upon the tap. Take one drop and awake to mercy. The brew was not poured for tyranny. The steward sneered. Mercy spoils swiftly in this age, but fear endures. He flung the phial skyward. It burst in a storm of color that rained down like shards of glass. Where each shard struck, roses withered into briars and cobbles cracked. Broby's roar answered the shatter. He charged, axe cleaving a path. Poole leapt upon the cart, strumming a wild clash of chords that rang as bright as bells. Soldiers who had tasted the brew lifted their pikes and surged behind him. Bibi rose high, her glow swelling until she shone like a shard of fallen star. She poured that radiance into the ember brew, and golden vapor spilled forth, covering the yard in sweet, warm haze. The Kanker Knights faltered. Sap hissed where the haze touched. Thorin rolled barrel and cart straight toward the fountain. Lemmy loosed the tap and let the brew cascade into the tar. Instantly, the black pool seethed, its foul mirror broken by rings of light. Up from the fountain's heart rose a column of amber steam, twisting skyward. Rain hissed upon it and turned to scented mist. McCringle shrieked, retreating, but too late. Colors he had stolen fled his cloak like birds freed from a cage, swirling into the steam. With each fleeing ribbon his figure dimmed, robes bleaching to ashen rag. He stumbled toward the gate, calling for the knights. Yet the haze clung to their armor, eating sap steel to rust. Still the storm above thundered, and the bones of the castle groaned. Brangus forced a path through the cart, helped Thorin steady the dwindling barrel, and drank the last cup himself. Strength settled on him like forgotten mail, and from his blade leapt a clean white flame. All seemed one, yet at that very heartbeat, the flagstones split. The shattered harp beneath the keep answered with a final scream. Through the crack burst a hand wrought of black rosewood and dripping with cold light.
Oh shit.
Then came a second hand, and between them a visage emerged, half mask, half bloom. From it issued a voice unearthly yet familiar. Hope tastes sweet, it said, but the deep root drinks darker draughts. The column of steam faltered. Bibi's radiance flickered like a candle in a gust. Lemmy reached for the tap, but found the barrel empty, its magic spent. Poole's cord died on the strings as the air thickened with thorned shadow.
Oh shit.
Broby planted his feet at the rent stone, axe ready though the blade trembled. Brangus set flame-bright sword beside him. Thorin raised the splintered stave, fashioning it into cudgel. Bibi hovered close to Lemmy's brow, casting a fragile halo. Across the courtyard, McCringle, half phantom now, laughed with a voice hollow as an empty chalice. So ends your cup of comfort, he called. Drink now the bitter lees. Then the rosewood horror heaved itself full into the night, dragging a crown of thorns the height of 3 men. Clouds swallowed the moon, and the raven cries fell silent. In that silence, hope shone only in the eyes of those few who yet stood, barrel spent, but spirits unbroken, upon the ragged stones of a keep, caught between memory and ruin. Act 6. The Siege of Spirits.
Yo. All right. Shit just got buck wild. An entire big-ass monster just showed up. We were all too late. The fellowship failed. Even with the help of me. And Thorin Thunderbrew. Along with Lord Brangus, Broby, Bibi, the Sprite, and Lemmy Pimmy Thunderbrew. We got both the brothers. And we're fucking up
So Dirty McCringle just summoned this big-ass monster. It's like a big thorn bush rose monster. Shit's getting bucked. Let's continue on. Through tales of the Funklands, betrayal at Brangus Keep.
A hush fell upon the courtyard as the rosewood monstrosity hauled itself into the storm-lit air.
Wait.
Its body was wrought of thorned trunks grown to the likeness of a knight. Yet the grain of the wood wept a sluggish black reason. In its breast glimmered the last shards of the stolen murals, turning slow as embers in a dying brazier. A crown of living briar surmounted the eyeless helm, and every barb dripped the same rank sap that fouled the canker knight's blades. Dirty McCringle, little more than a ragged phantom, lifted both arms in triumph. "Behold the heart root," he cried. "It was planted when pride first cracked these stones, and now it claims its harvest." Lightning burst above him. The rain became a volley of needles, for the drops that touched the heart root hardened to sleet and hissed away as steam. Damp gusts that had smelled of honey moments before now reeked of turned earth and graves left open. The muster of the bold Brangus planted his flame-bright sword at the breach where the stones had split. At his left stood Broby Gearson, axe rimed in rust, yet held steady. Thorin Oak Keg hefted the splintered stave of Lemmy's ruined cask, while Lemmy himself settled both hands upon the empty barrel cart, as though by sheer will he might draw one further draught from its staves. Bibi circled above, her dwindling light a lone star in the murk. Captain Poole placed his back to the shattered fountain, fingers poised upon the lute strings. Around them, the last of the garrison gathered, soldiers who had tasted hope from Thorn's flagons. Yet on the opposite side of the court, the untouched blackguard shuffled, helms bowing toward McCringle as if to a new master. Their hearts wavered between oaths sworn in sunlight and temptations offered in gloom. McCringle's whisper traveled the rain like a worm through apple flesh. "Lay down your arms and the fever will pass you by. Stand with these dreamers and share their doom." Several helms turned his way, yet before the first knee could bend, Poole struck a chord clean as dawn. The note rang off the keep and rolled through the ranks like a tide of waking memory. Where it passed, the soldiers recalled bread shared beside quiet hearths, remembered children who waited beyond the plague. Many straightened, some raised blades toward the heart root. The first assault. The heart root answered with a roar that was neither wood nor wind. Thorn limbs crashed into the flagstones, shattering them. At the monster's summons, the fallen sap of canker knights oozed together and rose anew, reshaping into warped warriors whose armor smoked where Thorn's brew had touched. They surged. Broby met the foremost with a bellow. His axe clove a knight from helm to hauberk. Sap spattered, sizzled, and cooled to brittle ash. Lemmy flung the empty barrel upon another, crushing helm and cuirass alike. When the stave shattered, Thorin seized both halves and wielded them like cudgels, runes flashing whenever wood struck foul steel. Bibi darted between foes, her glow flaring each time dark sap sought to cling to dwarf mail or mortal flesh. Yet every burst dimmed her wings. At last she hovered before the heart root itself, tracing sigils of pure gold upon the air. Light bit deep into bark, and the monster reeled, but with the blow a shower of black thorns struck the sprite. Her radiance flared white, then guttered. She faltered, falling like a wounded moth toward the ruined fountain. Poole's arm swept out. With a quick step, he caught her in a fold of cloak, then set her gently upon the fountain's rim. His lute hand trembled not from fear, but from wrath. He turned back to the fray, head bowed, and drew from the strings a melody none there had heard.
I'm about to go buck.
It was a camp song of far-off thunderbrew feasts. Yet beneath its grace burned a fury, fierce as warfire. The very rain seemed to dance to its rhythm, and where droplets caught the music, they shone like sparks. Turning of the Black Guard. The Black Guard, hearts still wavering, heard the song and felt the flame within its notes. One by one, their spears lowered from trembling readiness to measured
1 by 1, more like 2 by 2. Heyo!
salute. The captain of their company strode forward, helm cast off to bear a scarred brow. "Lord Brangus," he cried, "our oaths remain yours if your cause still beats for the living." Brangus lifted his sword in answer. A cheer rose, thin but unbroken. The guard wheeled against the Canker Knights, shield walls clashing in a flare of sparks and shivered sap. Though many fell, the line held. McCringle shrieked as the tide turned. He flung the tatters of his cloak into the air, and from them swarmed shadows, each shaped like a rose petal, but edged with razors of night.
Damn.
The storm of petals whirled toward Poole, seeking the heart of the song. Poole struck a chord so sudden and sharp that strings snapped, yet the note blossomed into a shield of sound. The deadly petal shattered upon it, dissolving to wind-borne dust. The cup refilled. Yet victory hung by a thread. The heartroot still towered unbowed, and Bibi's light guttered low. Thorn knelt beside her, tears lost in the rain. Lemmy saw and felt his own courage waver. Then his hand closed upon something cold within his pouch. He drew forth the last unbroken hoop from the chronicle cask, a simple ring of silver which had once bound tales together. He pressed it to Bibi's brow. "Little sister of light, lend this ring a story worth the telling, and it will pour hope once more."
Yo, Shaman, what up?
Bibi's wings twitched. A single spark leapt from her fingertips into the silver. The ring glowed. Lemmy slipped it over the barrel's tap pipe, sealing splintered seams with a flash of molten light. Rain hissed against fresh oak. From within the empty staves rose a hum, low at first, then round as a chant of homestead hearths. A golden droplet formed at the tap and fell into Lemmy's palm. It shone like the first drop ever coaxed from the ember brew. With reverence, he lifted the drop to his lips, and as it touched, he spoke a brief prayer. The droplet became a breath of gold mist, swirling around him, then drifting over Thorin, Broby, Poole, and Brangus. The mist spread, fine as morning sun rays through orchard leaves. Wherever it settled, wounds knit, breath steadied, and eyes grew bright. Broby roared anew. Thorn rose, brandishing his twin staves that now shone like tempered bronze.
Let's go.
Poole drew a spare string from a hidden pocket, laced it swift across the loop, and struck fresh chords. Brangus strode forward, sword blazing so fiercely that raindrops flashed to steam before they kissed the blade, breaking the root. Together the five pressed upon the heart root. Axe bit bar, staves battered thorn, song scoured dark sap from wounded grain, and the Lord's flame carved a path toward the monster's core. At last Lemmy hurled the reforged barrel ring like a discus.
Dang!
It sliced through briar crown and lodged deep within the monster's breast, right where the shards of stolen memories still spun. For a heartbeat the world held its breath. Then the ring flared brilliant gold. Memories of past valor, once caged, poured outward in a flood of light. They flashed across the courtyard, into the murals above, into the hearts of every soldier still standing. The heart root staggered, sap gushing in dark torrents, roots thrashing like dying serpents. McCringle gave a cry, half despair, half rage. He ran, cloak flapping toward the shimmering ravine where the earth had cracked, calling upon shadows to hide him. The heartroot, mortally wounded yet unbroken in will, lurched after like a fallen king seeking final refuge. Its roots speared the ground, splitting flagstones as it dragged itself and the fleeing steward toward the yawning cleft. Brangus would have pursued, but the great tower behind him groaned. Stones slipped from their courses. The battlements began to lean. With a shout, he ordered a retreat to the inner ward. The defenders obeyed, bearing their wounded. Broby and Thorin dragged the empty barrel cart, for its wood still glimmered with promise. Poole bore BB close, her light faint, yet steady. From the brink of the courtyard, they looked back. The heartroot reached the edge of the abyss and toppled, clutching McCringle in thorny embrace. Both vanished into the chasm. A gust of wind, cold and rank, swept upward, carrying a distant echo of McCringle's last scream. Then silence claimed the storm, and the rain slackened to a weary drizzle. Aftermath at dusk. The keep stood, though wounded. Towers leaned, walls cracked, yet the roses at the gate glimmered a pale red once more rather than black. In the quiet that followed, Lemmy set the battered barrel upright. The staves no longer hummed, yet the wood smelled of summer again. Brangus looked upon his people, their number sorely thinned, yet flushed with a hope that had been absent for many moons. He sheathed his sword and spoke. This day, we have won only the first thrust of a longer war. The heartroot has fallen, yet its echo lies deep, and McCringle's schemes may outlive his breath. Gather strength, for ere the next moon is full, we must ascend into that ravine and finish the work. Thorin nodded, tapping the barrel with care. Then let us see what song of courage can be coaxed from these staves once they rest beneath kinder skies. Poole released a breath, turning his gaze to the rent earth. The tale dives deeper, friends, but tales unfinished still yearn for endings bright. We shall follow. BB opened her eyes, faint light flickering. Then fly we must, she whispered. For in the depths the castle's shadow has only begun to dream. Thus closed the siege of spirits. Night crept across the Funklands, yet the torches of Brangus Castle burned on, and within their light, heroes planned a journey that would lead beneath broken stone, through caverns where memory and shadow lay knotted like roots of the same thorny rose.
Damn. All right, yo, we gotta get back. Yakety yak. This shit's gone down my crack. Listen, get back here. Holy shit. All right, a lot of shit just happened. Welcome in, Shaman, RYL. Jonesy says McCringle too damn dirty. You're pretty much exactly right. So lots of shit happened. We started to wheel down the barrel that Thorin brought, trying to heal everybody, and the McCringle showed up, along with the Heartthorn, or the Kringle, the big heart monster. Then BB, so the heart monster was formed by stealing the memories of Lord Brangus and stealing the color and vibrancy from his paintings in his secret hall. His naughty grotto, if you will. So this big-ass monster now is at the control, it seems, of Dirty McCringle, and they're trying to fuck shit up even further. BB got close to the monster, inflicting a mortal wound. But she got zested herself. I ended up catching BB in my cloak, and then I got real fucking angry and then started wailing on my 6-string. Pew, pew. I was pretty much Shreddy Krueger. Shreddy Von Winkle. I shredded so hard that I broke my strings, but I ended up doing some damage, rescuing my peeps, blocking spells from Dirty McCringle, did like a Batman thing with his robe. Shit's getting buck. Let's get back into it. I think we only have 2 more acts to go before we're done with Tales from the Funklands, Betrayal at Brangus Keep. This is a story in a longer series of stories based on Captain
Act 7. The Mirror of Regret. The rains passed away at last, leaving a hush broken only by streams that trickled from shattered gutters. Pale light seeped through torn clouds, yet the sun itself seemed unwilling to gaze upon the wounded keep. In the courtyard, the defenders stacked splintered pikes and gathered their fallen, speaking in low voices, for each man and woman felt that the battle's root still thrummed beneath their feet. It was Lemmy Pemmy Thunderbrew who found Lord Brangus alone upon the terrace above the grand stair.
Don't look.
The Lord's mail was tarnished where sap had scorched the rings, and his sword lay across his knees. Beyond the parapet, the shimmering ravine gaped, black and bottomless, veiled now in wreaths of steam that rose from the Heartroot's tomb. "My lord," said Lemmy, setting aside his helm, "you carry a weight that no helm can soften. Before the morrow we must lift it, else the burden will bow every soul who stands beneath your walls." Brangus did not meet the dwarf's eyes. "We slew the wood ghost and broke McCringle's snare, yet I feel no triumph, only empty hollows where pride once dwelt. What hope remains when a man's deeds are used to poison the land he swore to guard?" "Hope is a stubborn brew," Lemmy answered. "I have tasted it in moldy cellars and seen it flare bright in hearts one sip from despair."
I love that
Come,
line. Hold on.
Seen it.
I love that line. Hope is a...
What hope remains when a man's deeds are used to poison the land he swore to guard? "Hope is a stubborn brew," Lemmy answered.
Hope is a stubborn brew.
"I have tasted it in moldy cellars and seen it flare bright in hearts one sip from despair. Come, there is yet a chamber below whose tale is unfinished. Let us look upon it together." They descended by torchlight, joined on the stair by Broby Gearson and Captain Poole. Thorin bore the battered barrel hoop upon which BB now perched, her glow faint but warm. When the gallery door opened, the torches faltered as though reluctant to cross the threshold. The murals they had rescued blazed with renewed color, yet cracks spidered across their surfaces, for the stone remembered both harm and healing. As they passed each panel, Brangus slowed, drinking in scenes from his youth. The day he wrested a prodigious warg from the streets of Boomtown, the night he shielded refugees beneath Evermist Gap, the hour he swore fealty to the Fellowship of Funk beneath stars that once shone brighter. At last they reached the final arch where the painting had vanished. In its place hung an oblong mirror, rimmed in tarnished silver. No brush had placed it there. The mirror stood as if summoned by sorrow itself. Lemmy held out the barrel hoop. The ring that bound tales together still carries one drop of ember brew. Pour it upon the frame and learn what lesson waits. Brangus took the hoop. A single bead of gold clung to the inner rim, trembling like dew. He pressed it to the mirror's edge. Light rippled across the glass, and mist coiled upon its surface. The gallery shuddered. Within the mist, Bringus beheld a younger visage, helm lifted high, eyes alight with wonder rather than dread. The mirror Brangus strode through blossom-strewn fields, laughing beside comrades long buried. Then the vision darkened. Storms gathered. The young warrior took crown and keep, yet his smile faded, replaced by the cold mask of the present. Behind him roses blackened and walls wept tar, the Lord's breath caught. He reached toward the glass, fingertips brushing the surface. At his touch, the image changed again. The older Brangus knelt before villagers who lay ill, placing a hand on each brow. Where his gauntlet touched the sick, pale blossoms opened and color returned to wan cheeks. Beyond that gentle scene, the sky cleared and banners fluttered clean and bright. A voice soft as falling petals drifted from the mirror. Deeds forgotten may yet be done anew. Brangus sank to one knee. I have let ghosts of glory blind me. If there is a road back to grace, show it, and I shall walk until the soles of my boots wear to dust. The mirror brightened until the silver frame hissed and split. From its heart burst a single white rose, petaled and perfect, untouched by rot. It floated into Brangus's hands, and when his gauntlet closed round the stem, the thorns drew no blood. A tremor swept the vault. Murals glowed, then steadied, their cracks knitting a little. Somewhere far below, the harp of bone gave a last faint sigh and fell silent. Poole let out the breath he had held. A king's repentance is a rarer song than victory, yet sweeter to the ear. Broby nodded, wiping rain rust from his beard. We have secured the memory of what was, but the steward's shadow still crawls in the ravine. He will not rest. Bibi fluttered higher, her light strengthening like dawn through thin curtains. The heart root is fallen, yet its seeds are scattered in deep earth. We must follow before they strike. Brangus rose, cradling the rose as one guards a flame in wind. Then the path is plain. At first light we descend into the chasm. If my castle's shadow lies there, I shall face it with bare hands if need be. Thorn laid a palm to the wall, feeling faint warmth beneath the stone. The gallery sings again, my lord. Let its music guide your heart when the dark closes. So they turned toward the stair, leaving the mirror cracked but shining, and the murals glowing like windows upon far summers. Above, night stretched clear and star-bright for the first time in many moons. Yet along the lip of the shimmering ravine, a chill wind stirred, and in its sighing swirled whispers of rose-scented dread, hinting that the steward's fall had been but the turning of a page, not the closing of the book. Thus hope walked beside foreboding as heroes readied for the road beneath the world, where thorns still waited, and the last drop of ember brew would be measured against shadows older than any mortal crown. Act 8. Descent into the shimmering ravine.
Man, that shit's crazy. The final chapter, the final act in this book. Dirty McCringle and the big heart monster, the heart thorn monster, went over the edge into a big crevasse, glowing with shroomy magic. What will happen next entails from from the Funklands. KPP 101, The Quiet Storm.
Well, it's the Daily Braille, the Daily Braille, the news.
It's that old Daily Braille bopper.
Page after page.
Another page
right to your door. It's the Daily Braille. Now let
has
us show
been
you some more.
cooked up.
Well, it's the Daily Braille, the Daily Braille, the newspaper that knows you all too well. Page after
The Daily Braille
delivered right to your door. It's the Daily Braille. Now let us show you some more. I'll let us show you some more. I'll let us show you some more.
That's right, welcome on in. The next issue of the Daily Braille is here for you. Aussie, welcome in. We're just finishing up the latest story that's been dropped and narrated by me. The Daily Braille latest. Here we have the, it appears we have the latest of the Daily Braille. This just in. Aussie's here. Join the protectors of Braille. Defend the kingdom. The kingdom needs brave souls, like you, to protect our land and people from danger. Do you have what it takes to fight off monsters, repel pillaging bands of orcs, and defend Mayor Gorp from attempts to tickle him? If so, the protectors of Brill want you. Speak to Colonel Angus to find out how you can serve. Bring your helmet if you've got one. The Daily Braille.
Well, it's the Daily Braille.
It's the Daily Braille Book Club. Before we go back to Betrayal at Bringus. Oh no. 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 Okay, thank God.
Well, it's the Daily Braille. The the newspaper that knows you all too well. Page after
Yes,
page,
yes.
delivered right to your door.
It's the Daily Braille, the Daily Braille.
Now let us show you some more.
We've got the Daily Braille Book Club. Local readers review latest titles from the Boomtown Library. The Fungus of You and Me, a romantic spore drama. We also have How to Stare Quietly, required reading for all mink dinks. And finally, our third book. This book is not a trap. Suspiciously unfinished. This has been the Daily Braille. Now back to our story. Let's finish it up. Tales from the Funklands.
The newspaper that knows you all too well. Page after page, delivered right to your door. It's the Daily Braille. Now let us show you some more. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da. Well, it's the Daily Braille. The Daily Braille. The newspaper that knows you all too well. Page after page, delivered right to your door. It's the Daily Braille. Now let us show you some more.
Oh my lord, the Daily Braille. Back to Tales from the Funklands. Betrayal at Bringus Keep.
Where thorns still waited, and the last drop of ember brew would be measured against shadows older than any mortal crown. Act 8. descent into the shimmering ravine. Morning crept pale across the Funklands, lighting Brangus Castle with a hush like first snow, where the courtyard had reeled in battle. White-petaled roses now blushed anew, yet nearer the lip of the abyss steam still coiled. There the fellowship gathered, Lord Brangus mail-clad and steady, Lemmy-Pemmy Thunderbrew with barrel hoop bound at his belt, Broby Gearson gripping his ash-hafted axe, Thorin Oak Keg bearing ruined staves, Captain TC Poole with loot slung behind a new string of silver, and BB the Sprite, her glow a candle sewn from sunrise. The shimmering ravine yawned before them, a scar of crystal strata that caught the dawn and scattered it in shards of blue and violet. Far below, faint sparks winked like cold embers, and when the wind turned upward, it carried a sighing music, the same half-heard chant that once haunted the keep. Brangus spoke, his voice low. We follow the steward's shadow. What waits beneath has drunk courage from this realm too long. They set anchor pikes into the living stone, paying out rope woven of dwarf hair and spider silk.
Damn.
One by one, they crossed the brink and began the descent. Crystalline walls threw back their lantern light in 1,000 small moons. Between the gleams crawled roots no thicker than string, pulsing with a sluggish sap that glimmered green. Halfway down, a ledge jutted from the ravine wall, worked by ancient hands into the hint of a stair. Thorin brushed the carving, then nodded. Bean Warden shaped this long ago, though the mark is half consumed. A tremor answered his words. Thin roots along the stair thickened, knitted together, and from them sprouted figures of thorn and bark no higher than a man's knee. They scuttled forward, claws clicking. Broby leaped first, axe flashing. Wood limbs parted beneath his stroke, yet mended as quick as twine.
Get him, bro B.
Poole's lute rang. Each chord struck the little fiends with darts of bright sound, snapping knots and sending fragments skittering into the chasm.
Get those little
BB
fiends.
hovered over the fray, her light fierce searing sap to ash. At last, Thorin's twin staves crashed together, rune against rune, and a pulse of golden air burst outward, scouring the ledge clean. When the echo died, a hush fell. The roots upon the stair curled backward, withering as though cowed. They pressed on. Below the stair, the ravine widened into a cavern bright with pale fungus. Stalactites of quartz hung from the vault, dripping tears that chimed where they fell. In that vast hollow, the fellowship saw the shape of the heart root's corpse, a husk of thorn toppled upon jagged stone. Among its splintered ribs lay dirty McCringle. The steward yet breathed. Sap glazed his limbs. Shards of stolen color flickered beneath his skin like dying stars. He stirred when they neared and lifted eyes clouded by pain and malice. I fed the root, he whispered, voice rasping as dry leaves, and it fed me. Break me if you will, the seed is sown deeper than you can grasp. Beyond him, at the cavern's heart, a crystal outcrop rose, veined with living fire. Within its core burned a stone of wrought crimson, no larger than a clenched fist. Yet each throb of its light sent rings of dimness rippling across the vault. Lemmy felt his breath hitch. Thorin muttered a brewing chant beneath his beard. BB's glow brightened. The Heartstone, she said. If its pulse ceases, the plague's murmur will fade. If it endures, rot will rise again. Brangus stepped forward, brandishing the white rose he carried from the mirror. Its petals gleamed against the gloom.
Yeah.
As he advanced, roots recoiled, and the crimson light faltered. Yet the ground shuddered, and from fissures at the cavern's rim, new tendrils surged, thick and iron-hard. They coiled round broken columns, wrenching them free. The cavern roof groaned. Poole shouted, The ravine will close upon us. Take the stone or be buried with it. Broby hacked at the rising roots, but more came.
Get 'em, Broby.
Endless as bramble. Thorn drove a stave into the crystal outcrop,
Get 'em,
runes blazing. Yet the heartstone flared and the stave cracked. Lemmy sprang beside him, setting the silver hoop against the wound, singing old barrel blessings. The hoop shone with honey light, and the fissure widened, though sparks of red darted from the heartstone like angry fireflies. Brangus reached for the gem. A lash of thorn whipped across his greave and dragged him to one knee. McCringle laughed, the sound hollow. It binds itself to the sin it has tasted. You cannot pry it loose while your regret still bleeds. At that moment, the roof split. A slab of quartz crashed to the floor, sundered into razors. The fellowship scattered. A chasm opened beneath Poole and Broby. Only swift rope saved their fall. BB darted upward, light flickering. Dust swirled, smothering lanterns. Out of darkness, Brangus's voice rose, strong. Then let my sorrow be forged into will. He plunged the rose's stem into his own palm. Blood welled scarlet, and petals blazed pure white. He pressed hand and bloom against the heartstone. Light and darkness clashed, roaring like wind in caverns.
What up, BB?
The gem quaked, and cracks feathered its surface. Yet before the stone could break, the ground heaved. A wave of roots tore the crystal mound apart, sweeping stone, steward, and lord alike toward a new abyss that yawned in the cavern floor. Lemmy leaped, catching Brangus's wrist, but the weight of dragging roots pulled the dwarf toward the brink. Thorn grappled Lemmy's shoulder. Poole, rope lashed to his belt, braced against a pillar. Still the pull grew. With a final wrench, the heartstone ripped free from its cradle, swallowed by shadow. Brangus's gauntlets slipped, torn away by Thorn. He fell, vanishing into the cleft, with McCringle's fading laughter echoing after. Silence struck like a hammer. Roots recoiled, as if sated for the moment. Dust settled on empty stone. BB's glow, pale and thin, traced the fissure's rim, but no answer rose from the gulf. Poole knelt, head bowed. Broby drove his axe haft first into the ground, a silent oath. Lemmy rested a hand on Thorn's sleeve. Tears streaked the soot upon his beard. Far above, day's light glittered through the ravine mouth like the last coins of a squandered fortune. Yet amid the stillness, a pulse faint sounded from deep below. The heartstone lived, dim but unbroken. With it beat one more heartbeat, stubborn as iron, echoing Lord Brangus's vow in unseen dark. Down we follow, Lemmy said, voice steady despite the wet upon his cheeks. While hope speaks, we do not turn back. They raised torches once more, and gathering rope and will, began to descend into the darkness where stone and thorn had swallowed king and gem alike, and where the next chapter of their tale awaited, unwritten and perilous.
We did it, what? It was all a dream? What? What's going on? You were there, and Jonesy was there, and Casey and Charlotte, and baby. Thanks for coming by. Tonight's stream the world of Funkatron grows. What a wild time. my opinion on McCringle and Brangus 180 today. You never know. As the characters grow and show and grow, it'll be a show grow sesh. You never know. Book 2 is already underway. Because now we have our heroes going after the Hearthstone into the very depths of the planet itself. What a buck wild time. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. Good to see you all. If you're new, go to tcpoole.com and it will show you everything and lead you heretofore and yon. KC, good to see you. Jonesy, BB, Ozzy, Shaman. All right. And as we say around yon, take care, brush your hair, nighty night. Keep your bungholes tight. Bye bye. Oh shit.